So what is Mars and how does that overlap between the military and the amateur radio community? I mean, come on. That is not, as you said, this is not your Baofeng UV5R. This is a little bit different. What are we looking at here?
It does 30 to 500 megahertz.
Yep.
Complete.
That's
no
insane.
stems. Yep.
This is Ham Radio.
Hey, this is James, November Zero Whiskey Radio Lima. I'm here with
Paul, WD8DBY.
and
Dave, WD9HBA.
and we are here with Mars. What does Mars stand for? Who wants to tell me what Mars stands for?
Military Auxiliary Radio System.
Yeah.
And we are celebrating our 100th anniversary this year.
Oh, heck yeah. Happy 100th anniversary.
We started off as the Army Amateur Radio System.
That is amazing. And so a lot of people don't know this because you think about amateur radio. So again, we at Ham Radio Prep as well, we got a lot of folks that are newer. When you think about amateur radio, the first thing you think of is radio amateurs. You don't think of any sort of the overlap with military. But of course, military uses all kinds of communication systems, as you can see a couple of examples from this. So what is Mars and how does that overlap between the military and the amateur radio community? Either one of you guys can take that.
Dave, do you want it?
That's a great question. So our whole sole purpose is to provide a backup HF network for the Department of Defense in case things go wrong.
That's amazing.
And so what we do is we have a network of HF stations that are deployed all throughout the continental United States. And our mission is to be that backup for the DoD in case they need us. So that's part of what we do.
That's amazing. And now the different branches you have, you said you have Army and you have Air Force as well. Is that right?
Yep. This is the 10th anniversary, the last time we had all three service chiefs here. Unfortunately, the Navy chose to shut down their Navy Marine Corps Mars in 2015. So this was 10-year anniversary.
They're lost.
Yep, absolutely. It's funny, just a couple months after Navy shut down their Mars program, I started getting calls from Navy ships saying, hey, we need to test our HF. They used to do that with their Navy Mars, and then...
And I would imagine with Navy Mars, they probably got tons of HF operators on those ships. And so, I know they even do some special events, I think, sometimes with some of the Navy ships as well. But I don't know, what would you say are some of the most important things that people should know about Mars, either on the Army side or the Air Force side?
So,
Yes.
we are open to any amateur radio operator. We vet them, we run them through specialty training on military messaging procedures because we have to do that special training because they're operating outside of amateur radio bands. They're actually on DoD frequencies.
And so a lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
So when you're getting trained with Mars, you can actually get on DoD frequency as a part of that training. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's very
absolutely.
cool.
So when you're talking Mars to amateur radio, our big event is really the Armed Forces Day crossband test.
Oh,
we
great.
had about 15 to 20 different stations.
Wow.
Some of them operated by Mars members, some of them operated by military members, reaching out to the amateur radio community. We were broadcasting on DoD spectrum. They were responding to us on amateur radio. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What would you add to that? Anything that you think's most important for folks to know about Mars?
So I think the other part of Mars is that we operate using military operational procedures on a day-to-day basis. There's really no interface between the amateur radio operators and Mars. We are kind of a separate portion that we operate strictly on the Mars frequencies. In case of an emergency, there are procedures that we can, as Mars operators, interact with the amateur radio community. But in a lot of ways, it really is a separate type of service.
What was that one called?
Armed Forces Day crossband test.
Armed Forces Day crossband test. That's a great event, which is also in preparation, practicing, getting people on those procedures. Mm-hmm. What other things do you guys do as far as either training or events or coordination in the community?
So we sponsor 3 events throughout the year.
Okay, 3 events.
Every March we do a QRPX.
Okay.
QRP is low power exercise. We had about 100 military stations using this type of radio.
Take a look at this. That is just cool.
And we had about another 100 Mars members, and it's like our version of field day.
Yeah.
See how many contacts you can make. Mars members are there to serve as catcher's mitts for the military stations. And then you score points. You make a contact, you get a point. You decode an encrypted message, you get a point. You send a digital message, you get a point.
Yeah.
And then we declare a winner, whoever got the most points, and they get bragging rights for the year.
What if I don't win? Do I get a participation trophy?
No. You get to look forward to doing better next year.
That's right. Do better next year.
Do better next year. Then in July, we run an HF Skills Challenge. We give military operators a list of tasks, and you self-evaluate, you run through the tasks. Essentially, we want them to dust off their operator skills.
There you go.
Just refresh, get the dust off the radio. Then in October, we partner with the Canadian Army Signal Corps. They run an international competition.
Heck yeah.
This past year, there were 11 countries involved.
That is awesome. I think, to me, that's one of the things that I like most about amateur radio is just how it brings people in together from different countries as well. It creates a great international community, and so that's great that you guys have an event you can participate with 11 different countries. That one's in October, you said?
October, 3rd week in October.
Okay, good. We'll add that to our event calendar at World Radio League as well to make it easier for people to participate in that.
So it's only for Mars and military stations.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing I want to advertise, we turn 100 in November.
Okay.
So on November 10th, 12th, and 13th, we're going to do CW broadcasts from the latest military radio to all amateurs.
That is awesome.
Yep. So look for more information about time and frequencies.
So, and where do people go to get more information on Mars? I mean, I take it you guys have a website as well too that people can go to.
Yeah.
So you can go out and do just a regular search for Air Force Mars,
Mars.
Army Mars, and that will take you to our website to get more information.
That's awesome, man. We'll keep on posting about you guys over at Ham Radio Prep and World Radio League too. I want to take a look at this equipment, but is there anything else you guys want to mention before we take? Because this stuff is just we got to talk about this.
Sure.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to mention before we take a look at some of this?
I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, come on. That is not, as you said, this is not your Baofeng UV5R. This is a little bit different. What are we looking at here?
So this is called an RF310, made by Harris. This is the export version of the PRC-152 that the military units are using.
Wow.
When I say export, there's no encryption. There's no NSA encryption in this.
Okay, gotcha.
It can use a Type 3 AS256 encryption, but yeah, that's why I'm able to have it here, because there's no ComSec in there. It does 30 to 500 megahertz.
Yep.
Complete.
That's
no
insane.
steps. Yep.
30 to 500 megahertz, and it'll operate on amateur bands.
Yep, absolutely.
As well as
GMRS. And military. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what is this mostly used for?
Local communications, 5 watts output power. You're going to be limited to your distances.
Right.
So think of it as a squad radio, squad type radio.
Squad type radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this guy, this is the RF 7800. What is this? This is the export version. You can just pop that off. This is the export version of the PRC 160 that's being fielded now to military units.
Wow.
20 watt output power, runs on a single 24 volt battery, 1.6 to 59.9 megahertz.
Wow.
It'll do CW, single channel voice, digital voice, 2G automatic link, 3G automatic link, and frequency hopping. It also does wideband data. 24 kilohertz channels.
Now, what is the frequency hopping? What's the significance of that?
It is more for OPSEC. If you're trying to avoid being detected by the enemy, you set the frequency parameters, and if you have an SDR with the waterfall, you can see it. You can see it jumping around.
Yeah. That is really
Yeah,
cool.
just
now
like-
it has to be synchronized with the receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For both 3G and frequency hopping, we have to have GPS time.
For the time synchronization to
Yes,
keep it exactly.
amongst all stations, they have
That
to be
is
on the
cool.
same time. This is military radio. You can get them on the aftermarket, but you have to be very careful. They're older model radios. They don't have all the capability, and the prices are just through the roof.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
I would imagine so. I mean, this would be cool to get your hands on. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And some of our Mars members do have these, but kind of costly.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you for giving us the rundown. And guys, check out Mars Military Auxiliary Radio Service. I mean, this is great for all amateur radio operators to get involved
Yeah,
in.
absolutely.
And we've got our full support. Anything that we can do to get some of these events, get a little more publicity and get more people involved as Mars members, we'd love to help.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
James.
much. Appreciate you.
We've helped over 60,000 students get their US FCC amateur radio license, and we can help you too, no matter your age or educational background. Go to www.hamradioprep.com and try a free lesson today.